Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy you viewing this video. I'm Dr. Olayinka Akanle. I am a researcher, I'm a life coach, I'm a public speaker, I'm a lecturer in the university. On this channel, I do a number of stuffs. I do sociology, I do research, I do relationship, I do migration. So all the stuffs I do on this channel, you can cluster into these 4 areas. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe. Tap the subscribe button on your screen. And if you have subscribed previously, thank you very much for staying tuned. In this video, I want to address the issue. Therefore, the title of this topic is Research Questions. You cannot conduct a study without having a research question. But it depends on your school, on what you are doing the research for. See, operational research, that is, maybe you are consulting for an organization with a particular issue, or is it academic research or scholarly research, or for BSc, MSc, MPhil, PhD, or you are simply writing an article for publication in a journal or in a book. So this will determine what you do. Actually, there's another video on this channel on objectives of study. So view that video too, so you can understand this essentially. Research questions are basically questions that you want to answer through your research. These are questions that agitate your mind, that in the first instance made you to decide to conduct that study. So, and research questions are very important. They guide your work. These are questions that are very central to your study. Meanwhile, it's very important for me to mention that sometimes there are overlaps, when you consider objectives and research questions. So if you're writing an article for publication in a journal or a book, you are allowed to use, but essentially I've reviewed articles for many publishers or journals, and I reviewed proposals for books for many publishers, and I've also examined thesis, dissertation, and project across the world. So it depends on what you are doing. If you're writing an article or just a book, you are allowed to use either research questions or objectives, because most objectives and research questions are more or less the same. Sometimes research questions are objectives stated in questions form, and objectives can be research questions stated in a non-question form, while research questions are objectives stated in questions form. So in some universities, you are still like, if you're on your PhD or master's or your MPhil or BSc, some universities or BA, depending on the school, some universities still expect you to state your objectives, then your research question, because academic researches are for training purposes. So they want to be sure. Even some will expect that you state your objectives, state your research questions, still hypothesis. But in some universities, you are allowed to state the research questions only, some objectives only, but it depends on the university. So research questions simply means questions your research intends to answer. So, and just know essentially that these questions must be stated in active form. They must be stated in a measurable way. You can't just state research questions in a way that are so nebulous, so verbose, like that they are not measurable. The variables of study of interest must be clear in your research questions. Therefore, your research questions must be smart, must be simple, measurable, achievable, researchable, and time-bound. Must be questions you can answer within your project or your thesis or your research within a specific period of time. SMART is an acronym that we use in research. SMART. Simple, measurable, achievable, researchable, and time-bound. So it's very important that you state them in a way, and your objectives of study must be clear in this your research question. So then they are very, like I said, the research questions are very related to your objectives and your research questions must guide your analysis. It's the analysis you want to do. The analysis are to answer the data you want to gather must be from your research question. Your instruments must be from your research questions. Whether you're using questionnaire, I will have video on this place on this questionnaire, designing questionnaire. So whether you are using qualitative research or quantitative research, I have another video on quantitative and qualitative research on this channel. So your objective, your instruments must be informed by your research question. Your research questions. Same, your analysis must be guided by your research questions. Is these questions that you will use to form sections as statements though, as you are analyzing? And how do you arrive at, how do you get these research questions? You can get your research questions from experience. From experience, you can get your research question from literature review. Then your research questions must be related with your statement of problem. Your statement of problem must be drawn from your research questions. As a matter of fact, the problems you are stating are actually going to be from your research question, and your research questions must be from the problems you are stating in your statement of problem. So they must be related, and these research questions must be from the gaps you have identified in the literature that you have now stated in your objective. So strong literature review is very important in arriving at a very reasonable, very smart, and researchable statement of research question. That's why I have another video on literature review on this channel, how to do excellent literature review. You may need to view that video, because this literature review, as you are reviewing them, you'll be noting the gaps. These gaps are the ones that will now inform your research questions, and your research questions will feed into your statement of problem. We will feed into your literature review again as you continue to review literature. But you continue to review literature till you are done with the work. So you can get research question from sometimes your supervisor, from your experience, from your literature review, and things to see around. I have another video on this channel on how to get fantastic topics for your research. If you view that, you will understand what I'm saying. So you can get research questions from your literature review, from personal experience, depending on how you exist in societies, from your supervisor, and can be suggested. But the most scientific way to get your research questions, the most scientific way is from literature review. Because literature review will show you the gaps. From the gaps, you then turn the gaps to questions that you continue to engage from beginning to the end of your work. Research is a fractal, it's a process. So, and these questions, once you want to answer them to your research, once you answer them, will then inform policy, practices, innovations, products, social change, and that will make everything better or perfectly well. So if you view this video now on literature review, you will understand all of this more. View the video also on how to write abstract, background, introduction. I have videos on different videos on all of this. Then you will see the process of all of this. That's research questions for you. I hope you are better off now that you have watched this. Research questions are questions you want to answer. And they must be in question form, and they must be smart. Until I see you in my next video, kindly subscribe to this channel and inform others. Bye for now.